Hey, it's Antonio. Welcome back to my channel. Let's have some fighting words. So in this video, I want to talk about the fights that took place over the weekend with Savannah Marshall and Femke Hermans. Well, there's not a whole lot to say since it didn't last very long, but while we're at it, let's talk about it. So the fight went as expected. I said Femke would get knocked out. More than likely she'd get knocked out, and sure enough, she got knocked out. The only thing was she got knocked out a lot faster than I thought she'd get knocked out, but she got knocked out. So there you go. The fight could have went a lot smoother though, and I wanted to talk about that just for a moment. The fight could have went a lot smoother. So Savannah Marshall, like I said, with her jab and the power in her jab and just the fluidity that she pops out her jab, she was actually winning the fight quite easily, from the beginning with that jab. And you could tell that it was physically affecting Femke. For some reason, Savannah Marshall wanted to fight a little closer. I don't know why. However, when she did fight closer, once she got closer, let me say it like that. Once she got closer, that's where Femke began to open up. And she would open up with little flurries. And she, not to say that she had big success, but she did have some success. She was definitely hitting Savannah Marshall, and she was doing some great body work. She was finishing off a lot of her combinations with, a hook to the body, which was pretty solid. However, you can tell that apparently it didn't hurt Savannah Marshall that much because she didn't go back to fighting on the outside. She stayed in the inside, in which case she didn't have to do that. And if you listen to the audio, you could hear a corner like, what are you doing? Just get back to the outside. You're winning. Excuse me. You're winning easily on the outside. Why are you going on the inside? And, if you listen, I don't know how many of you actually look at the post-fight interviews, but Savannah Marshall said she wasn't hurting me as much as I thought she was hurting me. So she didn't hurt. Her punches didn't hurt as much as I thought they would. So I was comfortable there, So she was like, okay. And she knew early on it was going to be a hook, from the early exchanges that they would have. Okay. Well, like I said, Femke was getting, she was hitting her. I would definitely say that she was hitting her. But by, I'd say like late round two and round three, Femke was already on her bicycle. So it wasn't looking good for her. And Savannah Marshall, she ducked down low and she was going on the inside. And it was what it was. It was a hook. And they both threw their hooks at the same time. So I always say whoever throws the last one is more than likely going to connect. And sure enough, they threw at the same time. But again, it was positioning. And where Savannah Marshall was positioned, she was positioned closer. Her lead hand is right there. Femke's throwing her backhand. So who do you think is going to connect first? And sure enough, she hit her dead on the button. And afterwards, Savannah Marshall said she knew, as soon as, she connected, she's like, she wasn't getting up from that. She knew it, I'd probably say 8 times out of 10, you can tell the way somebody falls back if they're going to get up or not. But she definitely fell in a way where I wasn't expecting her to get back on her feet, to be honest with you. And she didn't, she actually got helped up, and I'm happy she's okay. But let's talk about, actually, before we go any further, if you like these videos, please like, please share, and please subscribe to my channel. Please hit that thumbs up button, and please share these with your friends. If you know people who love boxing and they don't want some one-sided rant about one person, or they don't want to hear a dozen videos about the same person every single week, and they want some variety, and they want to hear about up-and-coming talent or talent that's not necessarily in their backyard, by all means, send them my Fighting Words videos. But let's get back to this. So prior to the fight, which is what this video is really about, prior to the fight, there was an interviewer who asked Clarissa Shields, hey, are you going to jump in the ring after, Savannah Marshall wins? So Clarissa Shields was like, well, no, that's classless. Champions don't do that to other champions. Champions show respect to other champions. So I'm like, well, you know what, Clarissa, good on you. If you feel like you don't want to do that, good on you. Everybody knows you're in the building. You're sitting in the front row, so everybody knows what's next. Good on you. Well, Savannah Marshall wins, and guess what happens? Clarissa Shields storms the ring. She storms the ring, gets into an argument with security, finally makes her way through, gets in the ring, and her and Savannah Marshall have, a good 30, 40 second back and forth, speaking in each other's ear. And I guess you could say they kept it classy in that sense, because I'm pretty sure they weren't actually saying nice things to each other. Judging by their body language, they weren't saying nice things to each other. However, they didn't say it in a microphone. So that was that. Savannah Marshall made a bit of a joke about it when she was in her post-fight interview, and the interviewer asked her, what did Clarissa Shields say to you? And she said, great fight, and don't knock me out the way you knocked her out. So, which was, it was a joke, and, it was fun. And that's one thing I like about Savannah Marshall. I don't feel like she takes herself too serious, like she just realizes it's a fight. At the end of the day, we're fighting in front of a crowd of drunk people. It's a fight. It's like, let's not make this any deeper than what it really is. We're not changing the world, and we're not reinventing the wheel. It's a fight. We're just two gladiators with padded gloves on, but we're nonetheless gladiators. It's still fighting in an arena for crazy, loud, fans. That's all it is. And, when Clarissa was asked, she was like, no, I was just saying, she actually said that, she said, good fight, and I respect what you did in there. Like, it was classy. I would definitely give it that. But as Savannah Marshall said, I don't dislike Clarissa Shields, the person, but I hate Clarissa Shields, the boxer. And Clarissa Shields pretty much said the same thing about Savannah Marshall, And for Clarissa, it's all about legacy. And that it's literally all about legacy. She just wants to say, number one, it's some get back because Savannah Marshall has a win over her. But number two, it's you also have a belt. You have that WBO belt. So I can get another belt, and I can get revenge on a person who bested me at one time. So this is going to be a fun fight. Listen, and I've been saying this, the men should take a page out of the women's books, because right now in women's boxing, it's heating up, and it's heating up because the best are fighting the best. We have Amanda Serrano and Katie Taylor fighting very, very soon. And at least by late summer, we're going to have Savannah Marshall and Clarissa Shields. We have the best fighting the best at their prime. This is what we want, people. This is what we want. So there you go. The men should take a page out of the women's books, because they're doing it right. And this is how the women are going to get more exposure in the sport. This is how the women are going to get more money and pay in this sport, because they're willing to step up in competition. They're willing to say, listen, she's the number 2 girl, I'll fight her. She's the number 1 girl, I'll fight her. She got a belt and I got a belt. Let's unify. Let's see what happens when we step in the ring with each other. That's how it's supposed to be. It should not be the way it is in fighting with men right now. It's like we, the fans, are begging them to fight. We shouldn't have to beg them to fight. You didn't have... Nobody was begging Mike Tyson to fight Evander Holyfield. Nobody was begging Evander Holyfield to fight Lennox Lewis or anything like that. They just wanted to fight. They just wanted to fight. Simple as that, people. They just wanted to fight. But today, it's like we darn near have to roll out a red carpet and beg and plead and almost push them into a corner. And it's like, dude, you have 2 belts. There's 3 more out there. You don't want them? Isn't that what you're supposed to want? Literally, isn't that what you're supposed to want? If I was a political person, and let's say, I was running for office, I think my ultimate goal in the end would be maybe I could run for president or something like that. I've already run for governor and I was successful, and, maybe I can run for president or something like that. That would be the ultimate goal, right? You would think you would want, okay, you're a champion, but you would think you'd want to be an undisputed champion. But it's just literally like pulling teeth with the guys. But like I said, with the women's, it's heating up and it's only going to get hotter. There's a lot of new talent coming out, and I mean top talent. So that's all I got to say. There's a lot of top talent coming out, and, it's not going to get easier. It's not going to get easier. You're talking about little girls who grew up and, maybe they were going to be basketball players or baseball players or even gymnasts. No, they want to be fighters now. So trust me, there's a lot of talented girls coming up. And it's not going to be like the days of Layla Ali, where it was just she was just levels above every other woman. But not on top of that, she was physically just a phenomenon. It's not like that anymore. So things are heating up. But without further ado, please like, please share, please subscribe. Drop your comments down below. I'd love to hear what you have to say about the fight. I'd love to hear what you have to say about the upcoming fight with Savannah Marshall and Clarissa Shields.